Everton, Everton, Everton. And we're back. Hello. And welcome to Dan's Bluecast. And it's a biggie pre-match. And here I have with me, I'm sure you know who he is by now, Paul. I'm going to enter him in. Jamie, I will say hello in a minute. I'll get you involved in the comments. Add him in. Here he is.
Right.
How are we doing?
I'm all right, yeah. It's been, this week in work has been dead hard. So I'm looking forward to this chat and 3 points tomorrow. That'd be nice.
It's a big game, big pre-match talk. Probably the biggest pre-match. Every game's big, but probably the biggest pre-match talk I feel like we're going to have. And people in the comments get involved, speak to each other, speak to us. I'll drop them on the screen. We're all in this together and we'll get you involved and we'll say what we think. And we've got some stats. I've got it along the bottom, the order that we'll go. So we'll start with how we normally do it. We'll talk about the opposition. Brentford.
Lovely Brentford.
Did you see that face then, Lam? This is
yeah, I know.
Do you know what?
Go on.
I was going to say, do you know what's crazy? Normally I'd say Brentford and I think, oh, they're not that good. But I know what Brentford are like. And I think they are better than they. I've got no disrespect for Brentford whatsoever because they are a very good team that are playing well.
Do you remember when I laid down all the things that Forest had been doing well and everything else, and that they had this really good home record and stuff like that? Brentford are even better, to be honest.
I know. I've got some stats here. I've got some stuff to drop on the screen here that's going to back up what you're saying now.
Well, you can tell from the league position anyway, but incredible thing that Brentford actually haven't lost in the league since 23rd of October. They've won 6, drawn 6. I mean, they beat City away. They beat Liverpool at home, you know, and they're decent goal scorers. They score enough goals. They come from all over the pitch. I mean, the game the other night against Fulham, Tony scored, a defender scored, and a midfielder scored. So they've got goals in them all over the place, to be honest. And Tony's top goal scorer with 15. We can't even see 15 with our top goal scorer from where we are. I think Gray's top with 4, isn't he? I think something like that.
He's had an incredible season, Tony Azanti. There's a good player in him. There's Everton here joining us.
He is, and he's a bit of a arsey fella by the looks of him when he's been playing. Do you know what I mean? He won't go lightly. He'll get stuck in.
He was last time, wasn't he? He was last time. He was a proper. I mean, last time it was a game that was very feisty, and they went away and made allegations that stuff went on, and there's a bit of I don't know whether there'll be history on that, to be fair, but it's a big game anyway.
It's massive game, and they remind me a lot about Forest, to be fair. You know what I mean? The way that they've come up from the Championship, they've been quite formidable as well over the last couple of seasons. They've stayed up. They've got a good young manager. Young manager. He's certainly one that you can get behind, I think.
It's interesting that you mentioned the manager because a lot of our fans was interested in him when obviously we needed a manager and we went with Sean Dyche in the end, but he was a manager that a lot of people like. I don't think he seems a very nice person as well. I don't think there's many bad words for him, is there? Because he's done well. He is a good manager and he's doing well with that team.
Yeah, I listened to Dyche today, actually, and he mentioned Thomas Frank quite a lot and said that he likes his kind of philosophy and everything. He's got that, he sort of respects him, you know, because that's what they've kind of done. They've built up over a good few seasons at Brentford, and then Frank's come in and taken it over another notch. So he's a good manager. He changes it when he needs to. I mean, usually they would go with kind of 4-5-1 as most teams do when defending, the 4-3-3 when attacking, very much like Forest. When they were away at Arsenal and got 1-1, I think Arsenal equalised late on, didn't they? they actually switched it and played a 5-3-2, or certainly a 5-4-1, something like that. So he will change it at the back when they're playing the better sides. Can't see us being in that bracket. I don't think he's going to fear us that much, to be honest. So they'll probably say the same formation as what they've done recently. So
I've got the. I'll drop this on the screen now because you just mentioned, and this is what I'm going to do on the channel. I'm going to put stuff up and make it interesting for you, so you in the comments can comment on what I put up, and we can talk about it as well. Because I want you to interact in the comments as much as we do that are live on it, and I want it to be about a good little Everton hub here. So I've got this. It might be scary stuff that I put up, but don't fear it too much. Here we go. I'll drop this now. This is a bit scary, but we'll look at it. So some of the writing's a bit small, but you'll have to look forward. Brentford's last 8 games, Everton's last 8 games.
Yeah.
And we already know they're unbeaten. They're unbeaten in the last 8, but they're unbeaten in more than that, ain't they, Paul?
Yeah, I'd say they've in the league, they're out of the FA Cup. West Ham beat them at Brentford. They got knocked out by Gillingham in the League Cup. Apart from those games and a couple of friendly defeats when the World Cup was on, they've drawn or won every game since they lost against Villa 4-0 in the last week of October.
Well,
so whatever happened then, because before they lost against Villa, they had a couple of they had a win and I think a draw at home, and they'd got battered the week before that 5-1 by Newcastle away. So whatever happened in that 3-week period where they got battered a couple of times, they've totally changed on that, and they seem a stronger outfit without doubt.
But that's good stats. Well, look at that there. They've won against West Ham 2-0. They've beat Liverpool 3-1. Then they went on to beat Bournemouth. Then they drew against Leeds. Then they beat Southampton. These are not easy games as well, because some of these teams are looking to stay up. Then they drew against Arsenal, and then they drew against Crystal Palace, and then the last game they won 3-2. But I did watch the last game. And the big positive I will put out there is that their goals was a bit fortunate, like a penalty or a free kick. It wasn't amazing goals where there was all over Fulham. And I did look at that game. I went back and looked at it to see what we're facing. And they're unbeaten. So we need to end that run, don't we, Paul?
We do. I mean, if you look at 4 to 8 on there, they were keeping clean sheets, and Liverpool just got the one in the last 3 games. Arsenal got a late equaliser. Palace, I'm not sure if they scored first or not, and obviously Fulham scoring twice as well. So they're not infallible. They can certainly concede a goal as well as score them. So I don't know what your 5-4 prediction is going to be like this week, Dan.
Oh, it's going to be an interesting score, and I'm interested on these scores in the comments. This one, well, I was close last time because my score prediction last time was 3-2, and it was 2-2. We just need another goal. Then people laughed at me and said where the goal's coming from, but we did score 2. Now, if you look at our games here, I've had a debate with someone earlier on. I do believe that Sean Dyche, those games that I've got saying Lampard, I do believe Sean Dyche would have got something out of that Southampton game that we lost 2-1. And I do believe he would have done better in the West Ham game as well, because with what I've seen from Sean Dyche so far. And then obviously Sean Dyche come in and he's gone on to beat Arsenal, which I thought was cracking first game. And then we lost against Liverpool. Then we beat Leeds, and Leeds wasn't an easy game. We said that was an odd game in the pre-match, didn't we? We beat Leeds. And that's not just you should win a game. We did well to win that game. And then obviously we lost against Aston Villa. We lost against Arsenal. And then we had the last game, Nottingham Forest, where me and you said we played well and we could have won that as well. So I'm happy with our form there as well. I feel like it's not as good as theirs, but it is starting to get better.
Yeah, they've got consistency. We don't have consistency, and that's where you're gonna have it different. your league position is going to be different because of that as well. So we're very much we'll have a defeat, we'll have 2 defeats in a row, but we'll get a draw and a win. And at the moment, out of what Sean's done so far, he's got 7 points out of 6 games, is it? So, you get a win tomorrow, it's 10 out of 8. If you get a couple of points then in your next couple of games, you kind of could be saying 12 out of 10, 13 out of 10. You need 2 wins in a row. Teams who've got 2 wins in a row seem to be getting out of that position. Like Wolves did that, and 1 or 2 other did as well. Yeah.
Well, I got my Twitter back today, and I just had a debate with someone, and he said, well, in our last 6 games that I put up, he goes with 40%. He said it's not good enough to keep us up. And then I said to him, I goes, well, what did you want out of those 6 games? Like, seriously, I said to him, what percentage do you want us to be at? Because I said we should have been at 50% because we should have beat Forest, which would have made it 3 wins and 3 losses, which I thought was good for Sean Dyche to come in and get it at 50% straight away is a big improvement. And everything Everton's just said that we definitely are improving. And Sean Dyche said that he's building something that's solid and that's only going to get stronger. And I'm seeing who we are now, and I'm liking it. They're working hard. We're getting in attacking positions, and we wasn't getting in attacking positions under Lampard. We're still making the defensive errors, but you can't iron everything out as a manager straight away. Sean Dyche is going to build something, and if it goes wrong, keep what he's got, go back and then correct it, and then put it out again. And if it goes wrong again, correct. And that's how you become a good team. Like you said, Brentford, they've just kept putting the same team out. They've got the same manager and consistently improve because they've got the same bunch of players, haven't they?
They do. And Ben Mee plays for Brentford as well. He seems to be a stalwart at the back. So obviously Sean Dyche knows him from Burnley. So it might be a little bit of inside information there that might benefit us on the likes of corners or this, that, or the other. And they, when, like you say, they do something, they improve it. Dyche was saying that today. And he said it after Forest as well, is that we've created more chances now. We've got better at doing that. We're working harder in the middle of the pitch and we win the ball back quickly. We've managed to score 2 goals there. That's an improvement on what we did. So what he's saying from his conference today is that it's us taking those chances. It's us taking those chances that we get in that first half before the other side get their first goal. And it's making sure that we get 2 goals in a row instead of just 1 and we get pegged back or we go behind. It's little improvements. And like someone said in the comments as well, DCL training today looked quite happy. He was tweeting again today. I don't know if you saw that. Dyche is very coy about it because he says, we'll see. He said, we'll see last time. I don't expect DCL to play, to be honest. It might even be one of the next games. You don't know, do you? You don't know. But I think he's willing to. I think he's putting a lot of faith in the lads who are going forward from the midfield. He's expecting Iwobi to try and get a goal now. Decore's got a goal. We need Onana on the score sheet. So that's where the responsibility lies, to be fair.
Well, it's interesting you said Onana because someone just said that in the comments. So, I'll touch on what you just said about Sean Dyche there. He's saying all the right things in the interviews and stuff. And DCL, Calvert-Lewin, trained in the snow. So to me, if he trained in the snow, he's got a good chance on playing.
Mina was in that picture as well. That's it. That I saw. So you never know. Mina might be involved as well.
That's what people have. You've got to stay confident. We've got, and I'm Mr. Positive, Dan. We've got Mina, who's going to be close, and he might come on and get injured straight away, but he might come on and play 2-3 games, which could massively help us because we're all saying we haven't got many games left. Then we've got James Garner, who is, people are saying, why don't you play him? He's got to be fully fit, otherwise he'll come back, get injured, and he might be a massive part of us staying up towards the end of the season. So it's good to make sure they're fully fit before they come back, because if we played them straight away and rushed them back, our fans would be kicking off. So sometimes you can't win. On the Onana thing there, by Jamie, he got the knock, didn't he? And I've seen Everton, he knows his stuff as well. He got that knock that game, and he was lucky to carry on. And I think he's just said there, Onana has a bit of a niggly injury. I think when he got that knock against, I can't remember who it was against. Do you remember? He was about to come off, but he played on.
Yeah, was it the Villa game? Oh
yeah,
no, was it the Villa game? Yeah, I think it was probably, or
put it in the comments.
or the
What
Leeds
was the game?
possibly. Might have been the Leeds game. To be fair, I think
it was Leeds.
He's not been allowed to have rest, so
No.
he's been playing through one or two knocks and niggles, but he's got a bit of grit about him. He's not going to go off easy. So good on him, really. And he might not be spectacular in front of goal at the moment, or even get to a point where he can get more than one chance in a game, but he'll put a foot in. I'll tell you, put a foot in.
I just read that comment. Did you read that one?
I've read that one. Yeah, he's dead right.
Yeah, it made me laugh. And I don't like laughing that much on the channel, but that got me giggling a little bit. Yes, he is the king, and I do love him. And I tell you one thing with Onana, and this is true. Sometimes I thought he's not playing that well, but you take him off, no one can match him. You take him off, and you know he's off. Even when he's playing at 60, 70%, you take him off and you know he's off. He's a big player.
You change Onana for anyone else in midfield. You miss that physicality. Decore doesn't put it about as much as Onana does effectively. You know, he's a bit all arms and legs, Decore. But Onana seems to have a bit more of a footballing brain about him, especially when we're playing against some lads who are, you know, big fellas as well. You need to match it.
We forget these young players that are about now, all the older players, the big time names, they know good footballers, and when they play against Onana, they know he's going to be the dog's bowl. You know what I mean? They know he's a player, and when just him playing and coming up against him and looking at him, Onana is a player and he's a presence in our midfield. And you could see that when we played Man City back in the day. He was going against De Bruyne, had to take him out. He was that good. And centre midfielders, as you know, Paul, you play football. Centre midfielders are going to have patches. It's energy, isn't it? And you're not always going to have that energy every week. But as long as they try the hardest, eventually they'll turn up. He might put it on this next game, and I hope this is a game that he does turn up big time. He's just said Onana is my favourite player. He's mine as well. He is the king. But yeah, I do think Decore played well last game, other than the mistake. And
like Sean said today, you know, the Decore thing against Forest, it's a blocked pass. It's a blocked pass, but it was just where it was. I mean, he was only about 5 yards from their halfway line. So it looks really bad, and we've kind of been unlucky in some ways, is that we've lost the ball there, and then we look back at Decore having given the goal away, but there was still so much to do. So we've been unlucky in that respect. It might be
Dyche said that
someone had put a tackle in, or Johnson's shot could have gone wide or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? And then suddenly Decore's off the hook, and we said Decore's played well. So we've been unlucky in some respect.
Yeah, Dyche said that in the interview. He said we don't make many mistakes, but Decore makes that one mistake, and sometimes the ball doesn't end up in the back of the net. But we're that unlucky that it ended up in the back of the net. He said the shot could have gone anywhere, but it ends up, and that is Everton. Dyche will learn that is Everton. If you make a mistake, you pay. I've just dropped the two teams on here. I'm going to keep dropping stuff for you, try and make it entertaining for the people. I just said to Paul before we come on, we're looking on doing quizzes, Everton quizzes. So get in touch if you want to do an Everton quiz, making it all fun. I want to make it, what I want to see on a channel, I'm going to put on this channel, and I'm going to make it real fun. And these are the two teams then. So this is them, this is us. This was them last game, this was us last game. And we'll give our teams after this, but I just thought I'd put up what both teams played last game before we give our teams. What are you scared of?
Well, your game against Brentford v Fulham, for example, your 3 goal scorers were Pinnock, Jensen, and Tony. So they've got goals spread about, to be fair, and that side that they've got there as well seems to be quite a regular side. That's mainly what they've had in their last 3 games, say, since they drew against Arsenal away. And it was only then that they seemed to change their formation. They seemed to have an extra centre back in there. So it seemed to be a 5 across the back. As I say, I don't think they've done that very often. It's only when they've played the likes of City or Arsenal that they've actually changed that formation. So what you see there is most likely what we're up against tomorrow.
Just read the comment. You said this before we even come on. Like, scared of Tony because he's got 15 goals. But, I'm positive, Dan. I'll tell you something. I know they're unbeaten, and I'm not disrespecting them because I like Tony, and I do think Damsgaard is good. And I think that whatever his name is good as well. I've watched him in the World Cup. But these are gettable, That Henry's good as well. But this is a team that we can beat at home. And I don't think we should be that scared because we've got Tarkowski, and I feel like Tarkowski is the better one. And he isn't that fast. So there's a weakness there for me. I mean, he's good at heading the ball and stuff, but he's not the fastest. So I feel we can get at him. That Norgard in centre midfield, I don't massively think he's incredible. I look at that centre midfield there, Paul, and look at our centre midfield. And I feel we can dominate the centre midfield. I know we've said this before and it hasn't happened, but I generally do feel we can have this game. What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's. I mean, they're impressive in terms of their stats because they've got about 33 yellow cards this season as opposed to us having 59. Do you know what I mean? So that shows that they don't get booked very, very often. Now, does that mean that they're just really good at tackling? Do you know what I mean? Or do they just force the opposition into losing the ball? Or it's unusual for sides to have that low discipline record or that good a discipline record if they're not putting their foot in. So does that mean that the scope around Norgard and maybe around one or two of the other midfielders that Onana and Decore and Gate and whoever else can put a foot in and we can dominate aggressively?
Yeah, it's interesting what you say there because you make some good points that I don't even think of sometimes. Like you say, they're not used to an aggressive game, and this is a big relegation battle game that's going to be aggressive for us, and I think we'll make it aggressive. So how they'll handle that will be interesting. It's a good point. Someone's just freaking gone before the gun here and put his score. Everything Everton. He can't wait for the score. He's just looked at that and said the score that he thinks it's going to be and changing his mind. Wait till the end. That's when we give the score.
Could be. You could be right. You never know.
Yeah. Just seen something here on this while I've got this up. Bend me on what I've just said.
Yeah. Well, it's what we were saying. It's like Jamie's been listening ahead of the game.
It's a good point, though, isn't it? Like you say, Sean Dyche is going to know exactly. He'll say, like, Sean Dyche has coached him for so long. He'll say, do this, do that. We don't know who our teams are going to be. That's what we're going to move on to now.
I'll tell you one lad that Brentford have, but actually he's not going to be playing because he's got a knee injury, was the lad that we were looking at was that Lewis Potter. Tricky lad. He looked like a good Anthony Gordon.
Oh yeah, he was. He's playing with Anthony Gordon at the time. That Potter, I forgot about him. Is he on the bench then?
No, he's injured. He's actually injured. So I don't mind that being the case because players that we tend to wanted to buy tend to come back and bite us on the arse.
Well, that Damsgaard, I always remember him from the World Cup. We was linked to Damsgaard over the World Cup when he had that good World Cup, and I haven't watched what he's like for this team, but I just remember him from the World Cup, and he's a bit of a free kick taker, trickery, gets on the ball, kind of a number 10, young sort of Sigerson player. I don't know if that's a good description of him. Just want to say, there's people quite a few on now. It's getting up, people on live, and hit the like and subscribe, and hopefully we can get more on to get you chatting to each other in the comments and get a good little Everton fan base going on this channel. So here we go. I think we've said everything we want to say on both teams, haven't we? Without saying the lineups. I think we've got to hit the lineups now, haven't we?
Let's do it.
Go on then. You first. Drop it in the comments as well. What is your lineup?
I think. I mean, we always kind of go with. We mention what we would want, but we also mention what we think it'll be. It looks as though Miko is not going to be well enough, or if he is well, he might not be fit enough to sort of start. So it looks as though it could be Godfrey left back. Seamus is Seamus and working his socks off, and and Patterson's injured, so Coleman picks himself. Middle two. The Keane thing is interesting, isn't it?
This is interesting.
I don't know whether it was it because Cody was maybe culpable for Villa's second goal, because then he was dropped after that. You know, was it a bit of an injury? Why Keane and not Mina? So there's stuff there behind the scenes and training that we're not privy to. Maybe Keane has been doing a great job. I don't think he's as sharp as we particularly need. I do think Mina would be a better inclusion. I would have Mina and Tarkowski, to be honest with you. I think Mina.
So you're going Mina, Tarkowski?
I would prefer Mina and Tarkowski. I think set pieces is massive for us anyway, and Mina's taller than everyone put together. Do you know what I mean?
What was Mina like against Tony last time? Did Tony have him? Can't remember. People in the comments dropped that. I'm interested. I'm sure Mina played against Tony, but I do know that Mina could handle Tony, because that is the main thing that you're looking at, isn't it? Like, who can handle Tony, because he is the threat and he's good against us as well. He's always been a bugger against us.
I mean, he's got the 15 goals, but goals seem to be coming from lots of different places. He always seems to score, but Brentford aren't just scoring ones, are they? They tend to get 2s and 3s, to be fair. So
they know how to get up the pitch. Do you know what? They are a very similar style to Sean Dyche. And I know that I could be crazy for saying this, but they can play different ways. They're not scared to pass the ball. They're not scared to go direct. And I think Sean Dyche said this in the interview. They play a variety of ways, so they're a very hard team to read. They can pass the ball really well, but they don't just like go all in passing. They literally do the high ball to Tony sometimes. They are a very versatile team, and they've got a lot about them that is scary. I will drop your lineups in a minute. So you've got your defence. Go on, hit me with your midfield.
I was just going to say, we actually drew 1-1 with Brentford last time. It's where Gordon scored. He slipped in through on the left-hand side and then he slid it under the keeper.
Don't mention Gordon today. Everyone's going uproar on Gordon today.
So, but they didn't. They scored after 84 minutes and then it would finish 1-1. So Tony didn't seem to get a bit of a look in. And on that day, we seemed to be playing 5-3-2 anyway, because it was Tarkowski, Cody, and Holgate. So I don't think Mina was injured for that game. So I'd give it Mina. I think if anyone's gonna, because Tony can wind people up. Do you know what I mean? He's a bit of a sod like that.
If Tony plays against Cody,
Mina's good at dealing with that, and Mina's good at dealing with that kind of player. I mean, I remember when Havertz, who's a bit of a sod and all, he just wound him up, didn't we? We obviously beat Chelsea, and he just had Havertz in his pocket because he knew how to play him. He just wound him up back. So
Mina can get in his head.
I think
He can get in his head. Mina can. It'll be, and he did train. It'll be an interesting one. So you've gone. I will drop the lineups in a minute that you all put. I've read them and I'll put them after ours. So you've gone Coleman. Interesting one. Mina, Tarkowski is always in the lineup, and then you've gone Godfrey because you said Mikolenko isn't available, and Godfrey will get the left back position again. So who's your midfield?
Looks unlikely. Yeah, Miko looks unlikely. So yeah. Beyond that, I don't think much is going to change from Forest. I think McNeil works hard. I can't see him being switched out for anyone else. I think the key would be whether DCL has got a chance. I don't think DCL will play. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. And in that case, then Gray would have the shout up front, I reckon, which means that it would pretty much be the same five going across the middle. So you'd have McNeil one side, Iwobi the other, helping out Coleman, and then Garner, Decore, and Onana in the middle, and Gray up front. If it changes, if DCL does come in by some miracle, it may be that Gray gets put to the bench, which I think would be a mistake. I would rather, I'd actually rather McNeil drop to the bench and Gray start on the left.
It's interesting what you just said, because the same Blues has just said the same 11, but bring in Mina and Miko if he's fit. That's exactly what you've just said, isn't it? That is exactly.
I would actually, even if Miko was fit, I'd still play Godfrey. Because I think those two lads for Forest, Gibbs White and Johnson, the two that they've got for Brentford, who are let me see, Mwemba, I think it is. Get it now. Yeah, Buemo and is it Wissa or Vissa?
I don't know. I'm not even going to try it. It's going to be him, because I say the name's better than me.
They seem to be similar players to Gibbs White and Johnson in the fact that they'll be around Tony, who might not be as much of a physical threat than Chris Wood was, but they seem in attack to work as a three. So
yeah, I do think he liked Godfrey as well. I'm going to give my team now.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to go for. I'm not sure whether to go for who to go for goalkeeper. I do like Martin in goals, but I don't think he's available. He's too old, isn't he?
What about Gerrard? Paul Gerrard?
I'll go Jordan Pickford. Do you know what? Jordan Pickford, I watched him come out in the snow. I watched a video of him coming out training. He looks slick. He looked good, man. He looks ready. He's got to put the mistake right. Bad palm last time, but he is England's number one, so let's get behind him. Jordan Pickford in goals. Brilliant. And then we're going to go for... You've just got me thinking now. That's the advantage of giving yours first, because you get me questioning myself. Like, I'm going to put Godfrey left back as well, because I do feel... I'm frustrated that Godfrey was out of position on one of those goals last game, and I felt that he was at fault a little bit. We said this. I broke it down, and we both said Godfrey not being a natural left back. If that was Miko, he would have pulled over, and it could have stopped the goal. And I think Godfrey's got all the physical, the tackling, and the speed to stop them, but he just needs to get his head better. Maybe with these defenders, he'll get his head better. I'm going to go for Cody, if he's available. This is because I think Cody can help Godfrey. That's the reason. Because I think Godfrey struggles position sense, and he needs talking to, and he's learning. I'm going to go for Cody, although I do think it's going to be Keane, because I think he's still getting his way back in. I think it's going to be Cody, and I think it's going to be Tarkowski. And then I think right back, it is going to be Coleman. I think we're going to go back to that. Keane might stay in, I don't know, but I want Cody back. I know he made the mistake, but I just feel, like I say, with Godfrey left back, Cody's got that experience in the relegation battle to keep us up. So that's my defence. I put Cody in there instead of Mina. You've got Mina. That's the only difference. And then in my midfield, see, now I'm struggling because it's always the same three for me. You know, I love Ghana Gay. He's just starting to get a little bit better. I mean, I ran down the beach frigging naked just because we signed him. It's been nowhere near that good, but ayo. It's not too bad. I know. Someone said that. It reminded me. They goes, you ran down the beach naked with Ghana Gay. Oh, my God. Right. So Ghana Gay in the number 6. Onana and Decore. Decore was better last game. Get rid of the mistakes, mate. Don't lose the ball. So them 3, the normal 3. Now I'm thinking to myself, do I put Damari Gray on the wing? Because I've got Calvert-Lewin up front. He's fit and he's playing. I just read everything Everton saying. He said, I'm ready in the tweet. So
He did.
Yeah. Well, he won't play, but it's just me getting excited.
I don't think he said, I'm ready.
He did to me. He did to me. He did when I seen that picture.
I think it referred to the fact that he's back in training and he's on the ladder to become fit again. I don't.
He said to me, I'm coming out to play. I'm not knocking on your door now. We're going to smash
I'll see you all at 3:00 kickoff. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I think though? This is what I think to myself. I think to myself, right? They've got Tony. I'll raise you Calvert-Lewin. I think when Calvert-Lewin is fit, he can be a Tony. I really do. And I'm not saying this is good because Tony, I'm not disrespect. Tony's got 15 goals in a lot more form. But I do feel when Calvert-Lewin's on it, when he got into England team, when he was good, if we can get a bit of that out of him. I mean, he kept us up with the Crystal Palace goal. I just think I need my Calvert-Lewin this game.
Well, we've not had a game where, I mean, like I've said in the last couple of ones that we've done, McNeil has been, you can tell he's just been told, get it on your left foot, put it in an area. And DCL's not been there for any of that yet. So, maybe
I'm excited.
Maybe in a dream world, tomorrow is the day that
tomorrow's a dream world.
Well,
the good thing is Decore got in the box last, and I said this to you. I said Onana and Decore need to start getting in the box because we haven't got a striker that can score. Now, you imagine if we've got Calvert-Lewin up front that can head a ball good, and we've got Onana now arriving in the box and Decore, and they're starting to progress and learn how to get in the box. It's a good combination having like Calvert-Lewin and a big lad next to him getting in the box. So it's just a good setup for me. I like that.
There's options. There's options there. You just need a pinpoint, and that's where we've not got that yet. So we've improved in little bits, and Dykes is saying, well, we've done this, and that's better, and that's better, and that's better. He keeps trying to divert away from the striker issue, and I don't blame him because what else would you do as a manager?
Let's drop these teams.
We're creating more and more, aren't we? So.
Yeah, I definitely think we're getting better. I'm just trying to keep up these comments. I'm still trying to be this good host that keeps up the comments and don't leave them out. So this is a team. What do you think of this one? I'll let you go on one and I'll go on one. You go on this one.
I think that is the most likely, to be honest. Key must be really good in training. I mean, he's not done anything majorly bad in terms of, not talking about the Arsenal game, but in terms of the Forest game, Key's not done anything majorly, disruptive or balls up completely. I question a few of his things, maybe Forest's first goal, for example. But it seems as though at the moment he's one in favour. So Jamie seems to have the one that is likely to be the 11, I would have said.
Just going to drop this other one. I think you went good on that one, to be fair. Pickford, Mikalenko, Telkos, because he's got Mikalenko and everything Everton has. Pato, when he said Pato, I thought of the AC Milan Pato then. Remember it?
Who's signing?
Get him on the wing, Pato, AC Milan. I remember him back in the day. Pato.
Patterson's still out, isn't he, for a while?
He's got goal here as well.
Well, why not?
Everything Everton loves it, doesn't he? He does love it. He's got some players in there.
They'll be on the bench, to be fair. Garner will be on the bench. Patterson, I don't think he's fit. I think he's still actually on the injured list.
Well, you said
DCL's still on the actual official injured list this time with a hamstring, but I don't know. You don't know, do you?
You said last game that our subs wasn't good, didn't you, Paul? You said last game when our subs come on, and I was the same. As soon as our subs come on, I felt disheartened. At least now, when your subs come on, it could be James Garner, it could be Calvert-Lewin. It just get if Calvert-Lewin doesn't start. Well, I mean, I keep thinking he will, but at least the subs are slowly getting better when your players are getting fit. And I also feel, I want to put this out there, Patterson coming in, I feel he could play on the wing if we struggle for wingers as well, because he's got that winger ability, he could play right wing if you was desperate. I know that might be a crazy shout from me, but
I mean, I remember when Seamus first started, because obviously Tony Hibbert was still right back. I'm sure there was a couple of games where Coleman played in front of Hibbert. Do you know what I mean? When we were lacking attacking options, I'm pretty sure that Coleman did that role for a bit. It wouldn't surprise me if Patterson did that in front of Coleman, to be fair, when he's actually fit. There's nothing wrong with it, but I think it could work well. It's all depends on who's available, to be fair.
Yeah, I think you're right. This comment here just goes on what you just said earlier on as well. He's on the exact same wavelength as you. He doesn't think it's that Cody's carrying a bit of a knock. He just thinks it's the mistake that Cody made that we all remember. He didn't even seem to put the tackle in. I remember it as well. He left him. He got the yard on him. He didn't go the right way. And he hasn't been up to scratch, has he, Cody? So maybe he's dropped him for that reason. And
sometimes you need a change.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's put Keane in to learn him. And it's good though, because that's what you've got to do. If players ain't up to scratch, you've got to drop them and then bring them in when they've learned. Just say to them, if you're not playing well, you're not going to play.
It's competition, isn't it? You need to let players know that they're not, that they can be touched, that, like someone said, not untouchable. Because if you have someone who's waiting in the wings for a really long time and they don't get a chance, then when they actually do get a chance, they might not be, do you know what I mean, as effective as you want them to be. So you have got to change it sometimes. And we're not in any cups. So, you know what I mean? So you've got to sometimes, if you're not playing well, then you've got to bring someone in and give them a chance. And Keane's probably had, 3 games now? And I'm not sure that he's done enough to keep Mina or Cody out, to be fair.
No, I completely agree with you. You come out with such good stuff. Keane also got the assist for Doucouré's goal, so probably
he did get a flick on. To be fair, yeah, he did get a flick on.
Yeah, I know. And do you know what? I seen earlier on someone said, Gordon said, I played a big part on Everton. I'm not going to go into Gordon too much because this has been positive. I played a big part on Everton staying up. Keane played a part as well, didn't he? He scored the goal in the Crystal Palace game. I'm not saying he's good, by the way. I'm just saying he did get a good goal in the Crystal Palace game.
Was that the first one or the second one, with his left foot, wasn't it? Something?
Yeah, good volley as well, cracking. So, I don't know. We need these players at the best. We've said our lineups. I'm not sure whether Keane's going to play. I'm not sure whether who you said Mina's going to play. I'm not sure if Cody's going to play, who I say. It's going to be an interesting one. I do feel Sean Dyche will massively try and stick to the team he played against Nottingham Forest, because I thought they played well and was unlucky. I think he said that as well, didn't he, after the game? I think he's going to stick to that team of what he's got, because I think that's what Sean Dyche is about. He just wants to get a team that's good, that's working hard, and build on it. And I think he's going to stick to a very similar team. So before we give our scores,
I was just going to say, Blues had a good shout there, to be fair, about Keane being ahead of Cody. Is that if our most potential threat is offset pieces, is Keane a better attacking header than Cody is? Well, from what we've seen, he probably is, to be fair.
Well, Cody, when I watch Cody, I do like him. I think I don't know if it's his name more than his performance, but he just get knocked about quite a lot though, doesn't he? He just get like headers and stuff like that. He often goes down, and he hasn't. I think I give him more respect because I feel he's like England's international. Cody, he was a good Wolves player. But if you actually look at his performances for us, he hasn't come and been as good as Tarkowski. And I don't think he's been the best Cody he can be. So I do feel like say that it's interesting.
I like him. I like him. I think he's I don't know if other people feel the same way, but I've played football with lads who are like Cody. The personality and everything else, and they're the big voices in the team. And I can imagine Cody being like that. And his personality maybe outweighs his footballing ability, but that's Everton, isn't it? To be fair.
Well, we did say
what we're about sometimes.
Well, we did say that we've got players with the football defenders last season with the football ability, but not the defenders that can talk and leaders. And Cody has got that about him, so maybe it's a good tool to have. It'll be interesting to see whether he plays. We'll see who's got the right lineup. Obviously, we'll remember what you put in the comments, and we'll remember what me and Paul have said. We have a little competition, so you can get the right lineup. And mine's got Calvert-Lewin in, so I'll probably lose. So, any last words, people in the comments as well? Any last words on the game? How do you feel it's going to go? Without giving the score, go on, give me the score and tell me how it's going to go. Go for it. Give me the score. Put your scores in now in the comments. Drop your scores now. What's the score going to be in the game? You've got £1 million free bet to put on what the score is going to be. What would you go for? And who's going to be the goal scorers?
I reckon, when we were saying about Forest last week having a great record and everything else, so it seemed like odds on that we could actually get something out of it, and we very nearly did. I think a home game, we might have actually got something out of it. So maybe, this is that game where Brentford are on such a run. It'd just be like us to stop it. You know what I mean? Get actually hammered in the next game away against Chelsea, but beat Brentford the week before. So it's hard, isn't it? It is hard because you want to be.
It's not easy to give a score on this game either.
You want to be realistic. I'd go with 2-1 us.
2-1.
2-1 us would be a shout, yeah.
Drop your scores in the comments. Do you know what the worst thing is? You're going to have to give me goal scorers now because my score, I actually, for the first time, knew my score before I come on. It's 2-1 as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I knew before I come on this. I got it set in my brain. I'm ready for this game. I've been looking at Rocky videos and everything. I am ready for this game. I am, honestly. I want...
Which one? Which Rocky?
All of them. I'll watch them all in a row. I'm not ready. No, I've dropped a Rocky video earlier on when they was training in the snow and running up the mountains. I am... Do you know what? I said this earlier on.
My favourite one, that number 4.
It's good. I want to compete for cups, but there is nothing more important to me than staying up, and we are competing to stay up. So this is a big, big job now, and I just want to do it. I want to get it done, and every game I just want it to come fast, and I want to find out whether we're going to stay up or not. And it's like a cup run, isn't it? It is like you're in a cup that's a knockout, but it's a league because it's a league to stay up.
Every game.
I am ready,
and that's it. And we like Deitch for the way he conducts himself in interviews and stuff like that. One of the things he said today is, I see every game as a must-win game, even if it's a friendly. He said because he wasn't blessed with the greatest footballing ability, so he had to have that in his locker. And you know what? You can imagine him in a friendly, away against, I don't know, Accrington Stanley or something, Chesterfield, kicking bits out of everybody.
Well, we was awful pre-season, so at least we might be good next pre-season because last pre-season was awful.
I tell you what, we'll be a lot fitter.
Yeah, I love him.
See that? Do you reckon you can see that in the last few weeks?
Definitely,
weeks
definitely. That's the reason
we've lasted longer. I think physically
we've lasted longer. And that's the reason we're getting up the pitch a lot more, is because the fitness levels are a lot better. That's the reason you're seeing our centre midfielders get in the box. I mean, I showed a picture last time where we had, I won't be putting a cross in. There was 3-4 people in the box. We didn't have that under Lampard. And we didn't have players getting up that fast, getting into the box. They were lazy. Yeah. And there wasn't getting up. We had a counter-attack where one player would run and the rest wouldn't catch him. Now we're seeing players get in the box. The energy levels have definitely gone up. And I think that's due to the bleep tests and the training. And I think it's also due to the shitting themselves that Daesh will have them if they don't put the workload in. I do love Daesh. He's the man, and I want him for the future. I didn't realise he'd be like this. I know it's early days, but I just generally like what he's doing so far. And if he maintains it like this, if he's done this in 6 games, was like this in 6 games, starting to finally look like we're building something, I'd love to see what he'd do with a whole pre-season and a season under his belt with his players. So I do massively like him. Who was your goal scorers on your 2-1 before I say mine?
I would go... I think Tony will get theirs from a penalty. I think
probably.
I think we'll have Coleman. I think there'll be a random one. So I'll go Coleman again.
Coleman, please. If that happens, I'll be breaking my house and my windows. I wish I was going to this one.
And then beyond that, someone like Gray, actually. I think Jamie mentioned an interesting one for you, to be fair. Tony Gray and your favourite.
Onana. Yeah. He's due, isn't he? I mean, Decore could score again.
It's his time,
It got me thinking now, my 2-1, because I've got all 11 players scoring in my head, even the goalkeeper. So who do I put in these 2 goals? I should have gone 2-1. I've got to be serious though, haven't I? I'd love it to be 11-1, but it's not going to happen, is it? So my goal scorers are going to be Calvert-Lewin started for me, isn't he? So it's got to be Calvert-Lewin because he's starting for me. So Calvert-Lewin, if he starts, I do feel he'll get one. He needs it. I think I want to say Onana because I want him to score and I'll be buzzing. By the way, he's top of my list. But I think Decore is going to get another goal. I do think he's going to. Yeah, I think he's going to go on a run. Something. I know he's made the mistake, but I do. If you watch him properly, he's growing. He's getting. I know he's old, but he's getting better. His confidence is up, and I think that goal could boost him. So I'm going to go DCL and Decore. Onana, if he gets one, I'm buzzing 3-1. I'll take that. But
Decore's going to be our Yelovich. Our Kevin Campbell, is he?
Yeah, I hope so. I think I'm getting away with it here, ain't I? But it might happen. He scored last game, and I did say he was going to score, and people were laughing, but he did score.
You were very close, mate. You were very close to.
I said 2-2.
An amazing prediction.
I would have been gutted because I didn't put it on as a bet. But yeah, so Decore, Calvert-Lewin, and their goal, I'm going to go with that. What's his name? The Mabu. What's his name? Mabu.
Oh yeah. Buemo
or something like that. I'm going to go in. Yeah.
Yeah.
He can slip one in sometimes. I just feel I could see him getting in a bit of space in the box on my 2-1. So they're mine goal scorers, and that's my score. We're both 2-1, so I'm definitely putting a bet on 2-1 if we both said 2-1, because that must be a sign that we are going to win 2-1. Atmosphere is going to be
other people amazing. Have said it and all. There's a few. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less, to be fair, but there's quite a few positive ones in here.
Here we go. I'll drop the scores before we shoot. 1-0 Heart, Head, 2-0 loss. No, the Blues. Do not say lose. But you're allowed to say what you want, so it's cool. But yeah, I like the 1-0. I prefer your heart, mate. Go with your heart. That's what I'll always say in life. It gets you in better places. Here we go. Everton. Whoa. What's he gone for? 4-2. I always like his stuff. His lineups, I love them because he's wacky, and his but his lineups are sensible. The wacky, but the sensible, and his score there. What do you think on that, Paul? It
would be very Everton that on the match of the day where Gary Lineker's apparently stepped back, we're first on. So that wouldn't surprise me at all, to be fair.
So that's a crazy topic as well, isn't it? Who's going to be match of the day? I think DCL's going to get a hat trick, and he's going to host match of the day and put Everton on first and talk about his hat trick.
What would he wear? Now that would be amazing.
Something slick, isn't it? Something slick. Something to wind fans up after he got his hat trick.
Did you hear Dave say about fashion advice? Dave said about fashion advice that he's got DCL giving him fashion advice, and then someone made a little cartoon of Deitch wearing a mini skirt.
I just thought in my head, Calvert-Lewin's going to get a hat trick. He's going to go on match of the day, and he's going to wear a red bra, and he's going to say, "What you saying now? I've got a hat trick now." You know what I mean? To the Everton fans, that's what he's going to do.
Oh. He should when he scores, he should take it off and swing it around his head.
If I was him with the stick he's got for the bra that someone put on him, I'd do what you said. When he scores, I would wear a bra underneath and start shooting it around. If you're confident in your sexuality, wear a bra.
If he scores that trick for us, he can do what he bloody well wants.
Just get behind the boys. 2-1.
Yeah.
Yes. He's a 2-1 as well. Is he saying that because we said that? I generally think he thinks 2-1 as well.
Jamie was quick on the ball there before, so
and he's got a nana in as well, hasn't he?
Jeterix as well said 2-1, so it's a fair shout.
I'm selling my car and putting my car on 2-1. This is just crazy. 2-1 seems to be the common score here, doesn't it? I'm feeling daring. Everything Everton's just said.
To be fair as well, Mbumo, Blues has just been saying about Mbumo. Nice and simple pronunciation.
I'm awful.
We'll get better. We'll get better at foreign.
You're the clever one. You can't, and you know I'm going to fail on names.
I was obviously very wrong.
my regulars that know me know that I'm going to come out with stuff like that. I'm going to struggle with names. That's a hard one, isn't it? Mbumo. Is that his name then? Mbumo.
Apparently so. I'm going with the Blues on this. I'm going with the Blues.
I just say stuff how it's pronounced. Even though Richo, you're on late, or sorry you couldn't get on early. It's been a good one. This has Go through it again after. It's been a good one. I've liked it. Quite a few people in the comments. It's growing. We are, like I say, I've got my Twitter back now, so DM me. Paul's got good signal this time on his dad's laptop. So we are getting there. We've got the setup right. And when we get the setup right, if someone's got a good setup as well, I want to do me as the host, Everton questionnaires every so often, once a week or once 2 weeks for a bit of fun competition.
Yeah.
Get your buzzers on, whoever can answer the questions first. A little bit of fun, keep us Everton fans together and happy. That's what it's all about. We're going through crap times, but we don't need to make sure we're depressed. We've got to stay strong and stuff like that. Keen instead just to take the...
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that on the channel, but I normally say that. There's goals in this. Yeah.
Definitely, much so. Definitely.
It's very positive, isn't it, Paul?
It is. And I mean, if you threw up the, if we had the table on, we might be not as positive, but it's so tight. It's just so tight down there. I mean, Forest in 14th, all the way down to Bournemouth bottom. There's 5 points. There's 5 points. It's literally those 2 wins. It's those 2 wins, isn't it? So
yeah, it is. I just read this, and Paul, you're probably not even going to side up for me here. I sang the Coleman song, and I said Seamus Coleman. Oh my God, my partner ripped me for it because she's A-star English, and I love Coleman as well, and I've been behind it, and I say stuff how they're pronounced sometimes when I'm going through stuff, and I was like 60 grand, Seamus Coleman. Oh my God, and he remembers. Yeah, Seamus. It says Seamus, doesn't it? But it's Seamus. I don't know how to speak in Irish, but yeah. Thanks for grilling me.
That must be his dad.
Yeah, his dad's called Seamus. Right, that's why I was saying it. Oh, the people remember stuff, don't they? But that's good banter, that is, and I enjoy it. More coming on as we're going. I don't know whether to Paul, you don't know whether you're going to be on the match reaction yet. We're not sure on that.
When we're doing Sunday.
Yeah, probably Sunday. Sometimes I'll do it straight after if people want to do a straight after match reaction. It just depends. No, I mean, we did it a day after, didn't we, last time?
We should. No, I'll be good for that. And all being well, it'll be a nice, easy, relaxing, happy Sunday, and then we'll be around Sunday evening to chat.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it. It's a very open channel. This is what me and Paul said. We want Everton fans to just a good open channel. So even you in the comments, if you've got the stuff and the laptop and the setup, come on with us sometimes, and we'll just have an Everton chat before and after the game. And that's what we want to do. Just a good little Everton fan group. We're going to win. We're going to do it. I hate. This is the bad thing about doing these streams the night before, because I am so pumped up for this game. I feel like I'm not going to sleep. Like I'm ready to play.
Sleep now, are you?
This is massive. Sleep. This game is massive because we said it before. Oh yeah, I'll just drop one more thing before we shoot. We said it before, and I'll tell you why this game's massive. I do these things. It takes me way longer than what it should to give you lot a bit more to look at. But yeah, this is the reason it's such a big game, Paul. And we can't forget this. We've got the first penalty. We go first. And this is
well, you've got Bournemouth. You've got Bournemouth playing the Red so tomorrow. So sod's law is that Bournemouth gets something from that game. If it goes the way that we want to, Bournemouth 21, same number of games as us. Then we're always going to have that game, though. I think it's midweek coming up. Is it Tuesday? No, Wednesday. There's actually 2 games. Southampton play on Wednesday, so there's a couple of people there. And then I think it's midweek, possibly the week after that. There's some Premier League games in the middle of the week where we're not playing. So that's where we might lose our, advantage. No advantage, but where we are back on track with everyone else. But you look there, and Bournemouth hopefully lose tomorrow. You've got Leeds have got where are we?
I had it up last time, didn't I, on the last channel that we did. I had it up, and every team from the bottom to 12th there, I feel will get beat and they won't pick up points. They've got very hard games. All of those teams that are at the bottom with us have got teams that are very hard, and I feel that a lot of those around us there in that table won't pick up points, and that's why I feel, Paul, it's massive that we need to pick up points.
Yeah, I was going to say you've got Bournemouth away. Sorry, Bournemouth at home against Liverpool on Sunday. So I'm just going off each side, to be fair. On Sunday,
Liverpool will win that.
Southampton away to Man United on
Man U will win
Sunday. Obviously, us Leeds have got. They are
Brighton.
Is it Brighton?
Yeah,
so
Brighton will win that.
Home to Brighton. Brighton have been really good.
Yeah, Brighton will win that. So that's three that you've just said that the other teams I think will win. Who else?
Yeah, West Ham have got. They're home to Villa. God knows where.
Villa. I'd like Villa to win that because they're a bit higher, and we'll let them drift away, and we'll let Villa win that against West Ham.
West Ham would see themselves as that's a game where, same as we did. To be fair, they'll see that as a game where they should be getting the points, because West Ham's run of fixtures coming up is pretty decent. To be fair, they've got. After the game against Villa, they've got Southampton at home, they've got Newcastle at home, then they've got Fulham away, then they've got Arsenal at home and Bournemouth away. So you would imagine, I mean, if you're going to pick three sides out of those seven that are down there with us, I'm not sure West Ham would necessarily be one of them, to be honest. Going off their fixtures, you wouldn't be surprised if they pulled away a bit. So if some results kind of do go against us in the next couple of weeks, try not to lose positivity about it, because it's about what we do as opposed to what some teams do and maybe pull away. The ones that we would be kind of looking at, Leicester as well, have got on tomorrow, they've got, bear with us, they've got Chelsea at home. So to be fair, anything could. It's so tight, anything could happen. But if we still do well, but we don't get out of that bottom three because other sides are getting the points, don't be too bad.
No, we've got to stay positive. Just move on to the next game. But I do feel we've got this. I really, really do feel we're going to win this game. And I preferred it last. Go on after. Sorry, I preferred last game when we had. Do you remember last season when we was in that relegation battle? We had the games in hand, didn't we?
We did, and
it's the opposite now.
Blues mentions it quite well, to be fair, is that we were actually 5 points adrift with one game in hand. And I can't even, God, you remember when we went to Burnley away? I think there must have only been about 7 or 8 games left, and we lost to get away against Burnley 3-2, lost sort of last few minutes and stuff. And if you look at the two league positions now, I know there's more games to go, but we were so perilous last season, in such a bad position. We should be positive about trying to get out of this, and I know that we can. I do know that we can.
Yeah, I believe that as well. I really do believe. We're not deluded either, Paul. We respect other teams, and we don't think it's going to be easy. We spoke to each other, and I'm sure you in the comments as well think the same. We know it's not going to be easy, and we know it's probably going to be a scrape the barrel to stay up. But I just believe by the way, if we didn't have Dyche, I don't think we'd be staying up. I will point that out. Yeah. If we didn't have Sean Dyche, I don't think we'd have a chance of staying up. But I just think the way he's got this team now, and the way he's got them fighting, because other teams have got. When you look paper, they've got better players on paper than us. But Sean Dyche knows how to freaking get the best out of the hand, and he knows how to get past that. He's done it with Burnley, and I do believe, I trust him. He's going to keep us up. But this is massive. Let's stick together. Be positive. Like I said, we keep dropping nice positive stuff to boost you fans back up. It is stressful. We completely understand. But let's stick together and let's.
I know. Yeah, I noticed this, by the way. That made me smile. That did.
What was that? I didn't catch that. I don't.
Nias. So Nias is signed for Morecambe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
So good on him. I only saw it on Twitter. Twitter today, to be fair. But he's got a smile on his face and he's got his thumbs up. So
I did read actually. I did read a tweet.
He'll be having a nice time at the beach. So good on him. Good on him.
I think I read a tweet saying that team's got a better striker than us.
Can we get him in on loan?
We've got Calvert-Lewin back. Don't worry, we'll be all right. Right, this has been good. Your signal's been wicked, so we've been able to flow through comments. Thanks for the comments. Like and subscribe, everyone, so we can get a few more Everton people for you in the comments and stuff to chat with, and get more people on and stuff like that. And it's just be a good little positive Everton fan hub. Thanks everyone for coming on, and Paul, big thanks. Cracking stuff as always. Smooth voice. Keep these Everton fans positive. We're going to do it. We're going to win the next game, and we'll be speaking match reactions saying we've done it. We've beat them. We're going to stay up. So see ya, everyone. And we'll be back match reaction. See you later.